What's up everyone, and welcome back to Burger Month. We're all month long on the channel here. We're making a new burger, and today we're making tuna burgers. Now, not only are these incredibly easy to make, but they are delicious as well. And I got just one question for you: cheese or no cheese? Now, to get started, you're gonna need two 7-ounce cans of tuna. Any kind of tuna will do. And the tops of these cans are always filthy, so make sure you just give them a quick rinse before you open and drain your tuna. Now, if you want to know the inspiration behind this dish, one of the restaurants I worked at, we had crab cakes on the menu, and one of the things I love to do is saute those crab cakes and make a crab cake sandwich. Everybody looked at me like I was like crazy for eating them, but I swear they were delicious. If you're wondering what I'm doing here, if you're like me and you have cats, they're probably going absolutely nuts right now, so make sure you give them their little kitty tacks and give them a little tuna. Okay, take the rest of your tuna that your cats hopefully didn't eat and empty it into a bowl. Take a fork and start shredding your tuna. Not too small, but also you don't want the pieces too big. You're looking for a nice size medium piece. Get out a cutting board and a knife, and let's talk turkey. I mean veggies. We're not putting turkey in this. We're going to use a green bell pepper, 2 sticks of celery, 1 small yellow onion, 1 carrot, and some garlic. The celery, I'm going to trim off the ends, then I'm going to bring that and the bell pepper over and wash them. The celery, I'm going to cut into a nice little small dice, then I'm going to add that right to the bowl with our tuna. The bell pepper, I decided to only go with half. I think that's a good amount, but same thing, a little small dice. I'm going to add it right to the bowl with our tuna. Okay, our 1 medium carrot, I'm going to trim mine up, cut off the tops and the bottoms, then I'm going to peel the outer layer of that skin off. All right, I'm breaking out the cheese grater. We're going to use the medium holes, and I'm going to start I'm going to start shredding the carrots on the cheese grater. Now, of course, if you don't have a cheese grater, you could dice these up nice and small, but I love the way when you shred them, you get those nice little fluffy shreds. They're going to cook quicker and they're going to taste better. A nice little bite. Next, our small yellow onion, dice it up nice and fine, add it to the bowl. And finally, we got our garlic. Break it open, get a couple of cloves out. I'm going to use 2, and then we're going to crush these right into the bowl with the rest of our stuff. Then add a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, 2 tablespoons of mayo. We're going to crack in 2 eggs. Then we're going to add 1/3 cup of seasoned breadcrumbs. Now let's get this thing seasoned. Salt and pepper, about 1/4 teaspoon each if you're going to measure it. I'll go heavy on the onion powder, but I would suggest about 1 teaspoon. A teaspoon of dill weed, 2 teaspoons of Old Bay seasoning, 2 teaspoons of paprika, and 2 teaspoons of dried parsley for some color. Get in there and mix everything all up. I like to pop the eggs first and then sort of scramble them in the bowl and then mix everything up together. About halfway through, I like to switch over to a rubber spatula and then use that to continue mixing the rest of the way through. Now the recipe should be exact, but if it's a little too dry, you can add a little bit more mayo, and if it's a little too loose or too wet, add a little bit more breadcrumbs. Now clear your workspace and make some room because we're going to form these into patties. Roll up your sleeves because this is going to get a little messy. Now you don't have to be as exact as I'm going to be. You don't have to measure it if you don't want to. However, I'm going to measure my mixture and go for about a 4-ounce patty. You can roll them around in your hands a few times, then flatten them out into your desired shape and patty, but try to be delicate with these because they will fall apart on you if you're too rough. Once you got your patties all made up and looking lovely, if I do say so myself, you're going to want to place these in the freezer for 1 to 2 hours so they can firm up. If you don't have room in your freezer, place them in the fridge for 3 to 4 hours so they can firm up, or they will fall apart on you. While our patties are in the freezer, let's make some sauce, some tartar sauce. In a small bowl, we're going to add 1 cup of mayo. To that, you're going to add 1 cup of minced dill pickles, which sounds like a lot and it's going to look like a lot, but it's not a lot, trust me. And if you don't have the dill pickles, you could absolutely use relish instead. Just don't add the sugar that we're going to add in a moment. Then we're adding a tablespoon of dill weed and half a tablespoon of parsley. Then we're adding a teaspoon of sugar, and remember, if you added sweet relish instead of the diced pickles, then don't add the sugar. 1/4 teaspoon of salt and pepper and half a teaspoon of onion powder. Lastly, I'm going to juice in 1 whole lemon. Now if you're not sure about using a whole lemon, use half, mix it, taste it. If you think it needs more acidity, add the other half. Either way, give this a good mix, and I promise you this stuff is so good. If you never made homemade tartar sauce, make it, and I promise you, you will never buy it again in the store. We're going to wrap this up with some saran wrap and stick it in the fridge until we need it. Okay, we're just about ready to go out and cook our tuna burgers, so we're going to do a couple more prep things. I got some buns already buttered. We got a heirloom tomato. We're going to cut some nice thick slices on it. Okay, we're going to take our tuna patties out of the freezer. Remember to be careful with these because they are delicate. We're going to season them with some salt and pepper. Okay, the flat top's nice and hot. Buttered buns are going down like it's Friday night, and they're coming up toasted like Sunday morning. I'm going to throw down a little butter and let that melt right where I'm going to put my tuna burgers, which here they come, 1 and 2. Give them a little press, then let these cook for about 5 to 7 minutes before you flip them. I'm also going to hit the other side with a little bit of seasoning before I flip. So I let these cook for about 6 minutes on each side before I flip them, and I gotta say, while these were cooking, it smelled amazing. Those spices, not to mention the celery, the onion, the carrots. Woo. So I let them go for about 6 minutes on the other side, then I slapped a piece of cheese on one, let it get nice and melty. Then we're going to take these inside and it's time to assemble. Okay, we got our toasted buns. Our homemade tartar sauce is going down on both sides of the bun. Don't be stingy with it. And our patties are going down. Number 1, number 2, one with cheese, one without cheese. Our tomato slices are going down next with a little salt and pepper on those tomato slices. And lastly, a little fresh arugula right over the top buns. Put those top buns on like you know what you're doing. And there we go, tuna burgers. Let me know what you think is going to be better, the cheese or no cheese. And I couldn't decide which one I wanted to try first, so I just went with the no cheese. I bit into that thing. Woo, flavors rushing into my mouth. The tuna burger was nice and crispy on the outside, tender on the inside. That bun was nice and soft. Tomato nice and juicy. That tartar sauce, let me tell you, I never liked tartar sauce, like ever. Then I made it at home one time and it's one of my favorites now. Then I went in for a bite of that tuna burger with cheese and everything I just experienced came rushing back again. It almost knocked me flat. Nah, the cheese one was good though. It was giving me fish fillet vibes with the cheese and the tartar sauce, which is good because I like a good fish fillet. But I think this time I'll have to go with the one without the cheese. I think it just, I don't know, it was just better in my opinion. I don't know what it was. Maybe just because you taste some more crispiness from the tuna burger without the cheese, because the cheese just adds more moisture too. I think the one without cheese was a little better. Okay, my friends, unfortunately, this is where I say goodbye. I'm gonna go polish off the rest of these tuna burgers. Like, comment, subscribe so I can see you in the next video. And a special thank you for watching if you made it this far in the video.